Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Bellamy from Study Support here at CSU Study Centre in Melbourne. And today we're going to be looking at addressing assignment questions from start to submit. So this is a very broad overview of the things you need to think about from the very start of the assignment process to when you submit your assignment. So the things we'll go through today is what is academic writing, strategies for analysing assessment tasks according to their context and purpose, mind mapping and synthesizing, finding academic sources, note-taking and paraphrasing, constructing convincing arguments, and conclusions and summaries. And I think we'll take about 30 minutes to go through these processes. And remember that a lot of additional resources are available on iLearn, which is on your Interact site under Organisations. So the first thing we'll look at is what is academic writing. So academic writing is formal. That means the language you use seeks to be objective and truthful. And academic writing is similar to business or professional writing. So academic writing is very useful for your future careers. Academic writing emphasizes objects and facts and ideas, and it seeks to be persuasive through the use of evidence, language, and context. And the last point is really important. Everything you write, even in your assignments and your reports and essay questions, they're meant to be persuasive, meaning that you're trying to persuade your lecturer or your reader that the solutions that you're providing are the best solutions. So academic writing requires the use of words, concepts, arguments, which are usually specific to your discipline of study, i.e. accounting, business, finance, IT, or economics. Disciplines have different styles of writing, i.e. business writing is often succinct. It uses dot points and summaries and shorter paragraphs. And the way to understand what style of writing is useful in your particular discipline is to read often, to understand the discipline, not only to understand the sort of writing conventions that are specific for your discipline, but also that some of the central ideas and themes that may run through your particular discipline. So the first thing you need to do to address an assignment task is analyze the task. Look at what the task is actually asking you to do. And the first way to do this is look for the key words, the general topic words. What is the assessment about? And as part of this, there's also focus topic words. So these are the limits and qualifiers. Remember, we can't know everything. We can only know specific things. So this is why you have focus words and limit words. So succinctly, look for the key terms and qualifiers in your assessment task. And again, to analyze the task, you need to look at the task or instruction words and these are generally verbs, and they're the ones that tell you what to do. And common ones are describe, discuss, explain, outline, examine, and identify. And you'll find a complete list of these task words on your iLearn site as well. And when you understand what the task words mean, you will understand how to address the particular problem in your assignment. And remember, most assignment questions here at CSU Study Centre are focusing on solving a problem. So it's trying to the tasks are trying to develop your problem-solving skills. And problem-solving skills are highly sought after in the workforce. Most businesses want people that can solve problems quickly. So let's look at an example. Select the task words in this assignment question. Describe the nature of competition in your industry. Explain and analyze your organization's place in the market by comparing and contrasting its strengths and weaknesses to your main competitor. So look at the task words here. Describe the nature of competition in your industry. Explain and analyze your organization's place in the market by comparing and contrasting its strengths and weaknesses to your main competitor. Now consider the context of the question, which can help you understand the purpose of the assessment and therefore assist in framing your response. So that particular question had quite a strong real-world context. What are the learning outcomes associated with the question? And that this means, what are you expected to learn by answering it? What is the rationale for doing the assessment task? And to answer these particular questions, look at the marking rubric, because this can also provide clues of what is expected of you. You also need to start planning early, and there's lots of tricks to planning. And at the very early stages, it's good to brainstorm. So that means you write down anything you need, you know about the topic already, and create a mind map using key concepts. So in that assignment question we looked at before, you may know a lot about your industry in a particular market. It might be an IT software company, or in the travel industry, or something like that. You may know a lot about that. So write down what you already know about that topic. And then once you've done that, you can identify the gaps, the things you don't know about the topic. And when you understand what you don't know about the topic, then you can do some research. And remember, assignment tasks are designed to help you learn, to help to develop the skills that you need in the workforce. So this is a mind map, and this is a way to, this mind map is constructed to help you develop an argument. So let's have a look at the central idea here. Developing good note-taking and paraphrasing strategies to effectively summarize academic resources is a difficult process for students to learn. So from that central statement, let's look at some of the branching ideas from that. So why are these skills so important? The statement says that these skills are important, but why are they important? Which students? Are they native Australian English-speaking students, or are they international students? What other sort of questions come from here? What skills, knowledge does learning the process require? Does it require time management, critical thinking, English language? Understanding the consequences of plagiarism even? So as you see, there's lots of different branching ideas from this central idea. So this central idea is the beginning of an argument, and these other branches from that is places that you could take your argument. So once you've figured out the gaps, you've figured out perhaps what your argument will be, or what your central ideas will be, you need to find some academic articles. And there's lots of ways to find academic articles. And remember, the articles you find are from specialists in their field. They're not just articles you find on the internet. You need to find the authority or the person that knows the most about your topic. So if it's ethics, you need to discover who the key thinkers are in the field of ethics, either business ethics or IT ethics. If you do a Google search, it's best to use Google Scholar and not just general Google, because Google Scholar will pick up academic resources and not just general public resources. There may be a lot of people that have things to say about ethics, but then again, they may not be the most qualified to talk about the subject. So I'll show you a short video, and there's lots of, you also find on iLearn lots of videos that will help you in certain aspects of your study. So I'll show you a short video on how to use Google Scholar, particularly how to connect it to the CSU library.
Google Scholar provides a simple-to-use tool or search engine for searching scholarly literature, including journal articles, books, theses, and abstracts. A major advantage of Google Scholar is the wide range of databases and other sources searched. Unfortunately, not all full-text results may be free of charge. Google Scholar is located at scholar.google.com. Alternatively, from the Google search homepage, click Apps from the top right, then More, then Even More, and scroll to find Scholar under Specialized Search. To access CSU library resources from your results list, you first need to enable library links. From the Google Scholar homepage, click the Settings link at the top of the screen. Click Library Links from the left-hand side options. Enter Charles Sturt University and click the Search button. Then tick Charles Sturt University and click to save your settings. From the Google search page, you can perform a basic search by entering keywords or an entire phrase into the search bar. Looking at the results screen, at the top of the page you will see the number of results. The results are listed in the center of the screen. A set of filters is shown on the far left. You can use these filters to limit your results by date range and change the sort by options. Links to CSU library holdings will appear to the right of a record. To access the article, click the Find It at CSU link. This will take you to the Primo Search page. Follow the links to view online and to open the full-text document. Google Scholar also provides an advanced search option. To open the advanced search option, click the black down arrow in the right of the search bar. This allows you to control your keywords and phrases, as well as limit your results by author, publication, and date. To import an item's information, including author, title, and date, from Google Scholar into EndNote, you first need to set your preferences. From the home page, click the Settings link at the top of the screen. Under Bibliography Manager, click the Show Links to Import Citations radio button and select EndNote from the drop-down options. Click to save your settings. To import the details into EndNote, click the Import into EndNote link listed under the record summary. Then open the downloaded file. This will open your EndNote library and display your imported reference. It is advisable to open the imported record to check the content is accurate and make any required changes. Double-click the record to view and edit. Close the window to save any changes.
Okay. So let's go back to our slides. Okay. So another thing to remember is that you can not only you can use all sorts of different sources in your academic research. So it's it's good practice to use the academic sources, the core sources that are prescribed in your particular class, but also to answer the particular research questions, you often need secondary sources or sources that you find of your own. So to answer a particular question, say about competition in your particular industry, the first thing you would cite or use in your essay would be the actual sources that are prescribed by your lecturer. But if you're looking for other sources of your own, you can use books or magazines or TV or journals, internet. You can use lecture notes. You can even use data sets. There's repositories available on the internet where you can get data sets. There's an Australian National Data Service that stores all sorts of data that may be useful for accounting or business. You can use industry reports, podcast, radio, government publications, archives. But the point is, when searching for your particular resources, that they only look at the ones that are useful for your particular assignment task and ones that will strengthen your argument in your assignments, in your essay, and in your reports. So let's think about what you need to do once you actually get articles from either Google Scholar or from the library or from the broader internet. So use your reading time efficiently by taking notes. And remember that the more more items you read, the better your assignments will be. They'll not only be better in terms of language, but they'll also be better in terms of the arguments and ideas that you bring to those particular assignments. So when you're reading, remember to take notes and then cite the research so they can be found again. And that's really important. So don't just read randomly. Whatever you read, cite. Remember to take notes. So your reader might also find these particular articles interesting. So you need to cite them so we can find them again. And focus your reading through constantly referring to your assignment question. You might find all sorts of articles to read that are very, very interesting, but they may not be about the particular topic or the particular subject that your assignment task is focused upon. Organise your notes in a logical way so you may refer to them later in your assignment and exams. So keep a notebook week by week, or make sure that you put down the reference at the bottom of the page where the ideas come from. So remember to read your prescribed reading first, and then read additional sources that you may find. So your lecturer is usually a specialist in the field, and they know who the most important people are on a particular subject, whether it be IT networking or whether it be economics, marketing, these sort of things. So there's certain people that you need to cite in your essays because they are experts in that particular field and may have spent years and years and years studying to be experts on that field. So summarize your reading. So here are some tips on summarizing the articles that you read. Read them quickly to determine the important information. Remember, there's always many more articles than we can actually read. So read the articles that you think are important, just to get the main ideas, the main subject, and see if that main subject or the main ideas or the data used, the method, see if that's useful for you answering your particular assignment question. Then if you like that particular article or that particular report and you see it as useful, then read it in detail and note down the main facts and ideas. But remember to write down the points in your own words. And then write down the important material in relation to the main points. So an article may have five different main points, five key areas that it's covering, but there's also sub areas, more detail. So write that down as well if you see that as useful for your particular question. And always remember to redraft and adding or deleting material if it's necessary. So redraft your notes at a later date and add on to them. And if you've kept good notes, this will be a really easy process. So I'll show you another short video, and these short videos produced by the library at CSU. Very interesting and cover all sorts of different topics that will help you in your studies. So this one is how to evaluate information.
When you come to uni, you're told to use scholarly information in your assignments. But how do you determine if something is scholarly? The CRAB test can help you to evaluate whether a source is scholarly so that you can save time and feel confident you're reading quality resources. Currency. It's a good idea to think about your assignment topic and set some boundaries around the publication date. As a general rule, try sticking to resources published in the last 5 years. There will be exceptions. For example, you might want historical perspectives about your topic, in which case you might use information from a broad date range. Reliability. It's important to know that the information you're using comes from a trustworthy source. Establish if the information has been reviewed prior to publication. Check if articles have been peer-reviewed or books produced by a reputable publisher. Self-publications like blogs and websites may be used if they are thoroughly scrutinized. A good publication will cite other scholarly sources in support of its argument and will have been cited by other scholarly sources. Authority. These days it's easy for anyone to write and publish about pretty much anything, so it's important to find out just who has written the information you're reading. A positive sign is that the author has formal qualifications in the discipline and an affiliation with a reputable institution. For information created by an organisation, check that they have expertise in the subject area. Purpose. Establish the author's purpose, ensuring the information isn't biased and wasn't created to sell a product or further an agenda. Scholarly information is intended to advance knowledge within a discipline area. It generally uses formal language and presentation and should be balanced and based on factual evidence rather than opinion. So when you're next deciding if a resource is suitable, ask yourself if it's crap.
Okay. So evaluating the information is it's an incredibly important process, and it's become even more important because so many people can publish online now. So the thing is, look for the credibility of the person. Who is the person that's written the article? Is it someone that's actually qualified in the field to discuss the matter at hand? And also, what is their particular bias? Are they just trying to sell you a product, or are they is there some other are they trying to I don't know, do they have a particular bias that is really obvious, or they're trying to be objective? So these are things you can tell once you look at an article. Is the article out of date? other research come along in the past 5 or 6 years that makes this particular research redundant. So look at things like currency, authority, reliability, etc. Okay, so now we'll go on. Once you've figured out what your assignment task is, once you've found some essays, once you've read those essays, now you get down to the process of actually writing your essay. So essay writing is a form of academic writing used to present an argument to answer a question. So a lot of people don't really understand the nature of what an academic essay is. So an academic essay is it's usually about solving a problem or presenting an argument. And it's these higher level skills that students often don't reveal in a lot of their essays or in their reports. And I can't stress how important it is to present an argument when you answer a question. So what is your position on this particular problem, and how are you going to solve this problem? And because the reader will read your essay, and what you have to do in your essay is persuade them that your position is the right one. Now, the actual structure of an essay is quite simple. It includes an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Okay, and essays are unlike reports, and they don't have lots of subheadings. You can use them, but not as many as in a report. It's not as formulaic as a report. So you must use other sources to support your arguments, and therefore you must have in-text citations and a reference list as the final page. So if you use lots of articles in your essays that aren't credible, they come from sources on the internet that maybe your lecturer hasn't heard of before, then these won't be credible, and they won't be useful in advancing your particular argument that you're trying to put forward in your essay. So this is a general essay structure. In your introduction, you have your background and your aims, and this is where you introduce the particular argument. In the body, you have paragraphs, topic sentence, support sentence, detail sentence, support sentences, and concluding sentences. So you really have to think clearly about the structure of your paragraphs and the structure of your essay. And the way essays work is each paragraph from the very start to the very end, to the very conclusion, need to support your central thesis statement or your central argument. So usually in the first 2 or 3 sentences of your introduction, you'll state clearly what your argument is. So if it's about solving a problem, you will state at the beginning, this is how this problem is going to be solved. Then you spend the body of the essay extrapolating or going into detail how this problem is to be solved, and in the conclusion you restate the main ideas and then have a final comment. And remember, the essay structure, the general essay structure, is the same as academic articles. So the more academic articles you read, the better you'll be at writing essays, because academic articles and essays are pretty much the same thing. So conclusions and recommendations. So this is really important, and again, this is often, this is where students fade out. So this is the last thing your marker sees before they put the mark in your paper. So don't fade out in your conclusions or recommendations. They need to be strong, and they need to be convincing, and they need to be supported by the body and the introduction of the essay. And the role of the conclusion is to sum up your main points in such a way that the marker feels satisfied that you have answered the question and proven your argument that reflects the introduction of the work. So in other words, you're putting forward a position in the introduction, you're using the body to convince the reader of that position, and in the conclusion you're restating the main points of that particular position. In the conclusion, you do not include any new information that was not addressed in the body, and reports include recommendations, and this is suggesting what action is to be taken. And this is a really important stage that a lot of students also forget to do. But the more you draft and review your assignments, the better that they will become. And this happens in the real world as too. Before anyone publishes anything in a newspaper or they publish academic articles, they get them reviewed, often half a dozen times before they're published. So in terms of essays, ideally you should leave time, you should have a break before you review your last draft. So after you finish your essay, step back, refresh, maybe read something else, and then go back to it. And then be prepared to rewrite or rearrange sections in the light of a review. And try to read the draft from the perspective of the reader. Remember, someone has to read your work, so if the language and grammar is poor, or the presentation is poor, or the argument isn't convincing, your reader won't like that particular piece of work. So review and review again. And the more you review, the better it will be. And the sort of questions you need to ask yourself is the essay easy to follow with a clear structure that makes sense? So is the argument introduced in the introduction? Can the reader follow the argument through the paragraphs? And is the argument well concluded? If you read an essay and there is no argument, or the argument is weak, then it's going to be a poor essay. If you read an essay and the argument is introduced in the introduction, the argument is strong, and it's backed up by the use of good data or good academic articles, and the core readings in the subject are cited in the reference list, then it's going to be a very strong essay. And yeah, so when you're rereading your essay, the thing to look at is, are the points in your essay clearly explained, and are they supported by relevant evidence? So if you remember, arguments, you're trying to get at the truth, you're trying to solve a particular problem, you're trying to be objective, and the way to do this is by using evidence or objectivity and facts. So, in summary, always use formal academic writing in all your tasks. Academic writing is a way to be objective and truthful and persuasive on a particular task. Analyze the assessment task, and if you don't understand what the assessment task is asking of you, come and see us at Study Support or see your lecturer. Look for the gaps in the particular assignment, and map and synthesize tasks that you need to undertake to do the assignment. So what do you actually know about the topic, and what do you need to further research to understand the topic? So then you need to do research. So research credible and reliable information, not just information that you randomly get from the internet, but research that comes from the library, from a specialist in the field, or even ask your lecturer what are the most reliable sources you could use to address your particular research task. Take effective notes, paraphrase and reference. So when you do your reading, read efficiently and effectively. That means read quickly at first, looking for the key points in the article. If the article is of interest, then you can read it in more depth, and look for the particular ideas and arguments that support your particular argument in your own works. And this is a really important thing, is construct a convincing argument using evidence. So remember, a essay is it's basically, some people have described essays as an argument in narrative form. So an essay without an argument or without a strong argument is not really going to work. So you need to construct a convincing argument using evidence. And then in the conclusion, that's where you conclude your arguments and summarize and recommend. So in a business context, your managers will expect you to go out into the field and to solve a problem and come back with recommendations. So this is why these particular skills are highly sought after in business professions. So thanks very much for your time today, and if you need any more help with anything that was discussed today, then have a look on iLearn or come and see us in study support. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.